Silence isn't peace. Most of the time, it's just the gap between one problem and the next. Look closely. No distractions, no comforting narratives. Waking up already carries weight. The body resists. The mind starts listing what's unresolved before you even stand. Messages, obligations, small pressures that never fully disappear. None of it catastrophic on its own, but constant, persistent, inescapable. Even on good days, something doesn't quite settle. A faint unease, a subtle tension. That quiet feeling that something is off, even when everything seems fine. This isn't an accident. This isn't a phase. This isn't a lack of gratitude. This is structure. Because life doesn't begin neutral. It begins in deficit. Before your first decision, erosion was already waiting. Before your first desire, frustration was already possible. Before any attempt at happiness, loss was already built in. And there's something more unsettling beneath all of this. No one asked you. No consent, no agreement, no explanation. Yet here you are, inserted into a process that guarantees physical pain, psychological strain, the loss of others, the decay of your own body, and eventually, your complete disappearance. This isn't pessimism, it's description. Julio Cabrera doesn't comfort, he doesn't offer purpose or redemption, he does something far more destabilizing. He points out that the problem isn't how you live. The problem is that you began at all. There's a contract with your name on it. You never signed it. Still, it binds you completely. It includes exposure to harm, emotional vulnerability, irreversible loss, and an endpoint you cannot avoid. And the most disorienting part is this: someone authorized it for you. Birth is not neutral. It is a decision made by others that imposes consequences on someone who had no say. Cabrera strips away sentiment and frames this as an ethical issue, not an emotional one, and that makes it harder to escape. To bring someone into existence is to expose them, inevitably, to harm they never agreed to face. In any other context, this would raise immediate concern. If someone imposes predictable suffering on another without consent, we question it. If someone places another at risk unnecessarily, we condemn it. But when it comes to birth, the logic collapses. What would be unacceptable elsewhere becomes celebrated here. Cabrera calls this an ethically compromised condition from the start. Not because every life is constant misery, but because every life is open to damage, and that exposure was never chosen. And this isn't about extreme cases alone. A child born into war doesn't choose instability. A body born with disease doesn't negotiate its limits. A life abandoned early doesn't recover its missing foundation. But even outside visible tragedy, the pattern holds. The body ages without permission. Loss arrives without preparation. Illness doesn't consult your plans. To exist is to be placed inside a field where damage is not just possible, it's expected. So birth stops being a beginning. It becomes an imposition. People like to think suffering is an interruption, a glitch, something that shouldn't be there. But what if it isn't? What if the system is functioning exactly as it was built to? Cabrera's idea of a negative structure of being doesn't point to isolated events. It points to the foundation itself. Living means being exposed to wear, to vulnerability, to eventual breakdown. Pleasure doesn't fix this. It only interrupts your awareness of it. You eat, you laugh, you rest, but the body remains fragile. The mind remains susceptible. Time continues removing things, quietly. Science doesn't contradict this, it reinforces it. The human brain is not designed for lasting happiness. It is designed for survival. That means prioritizing threat, not peace, loss, not contentment. The mind is biased toward what can go wrong, because evolutionarily, that's what kept us alive. So happiness isn't the baseline, it's a pause. and everything confirms it. A body can fail at any time. Memory can dissolve. Identity can erode. Even in ordinary life, the same structure repeats in softer forms. Exhaustion, routine strain, quiet dissatisfaction, the sense of constantly managing problems rather than escaping them. Life doesn't collapse occasionally. It gradually takes things away. And that's why the idea of getting it right feels so unstable. Right according to what system? One where everything you build is already exposed to loss? You don't just live. You watch yourself living. And that changes everything. Pain doesn't end when the moment passes. It lingers, replays, expands. You remember past suffering. You anticipate future suffering. You imagine scenarios that haven't even happened. This is where the structure tightens. It's not just that life contains harm. It's that you are aware of it. A human doesn't just feel pain. They understand it, revisit it, project it. An animal suffers and moves on. A human suffers, reflects, anticipates, and amplifies. Anxiety doesn't need an event. It feeds on possibility. Depression doesn't always come from a situation. Sometimes it comes from clarity. And beneath everything is a quiet certainty. You know you will die. Not abstractly, not theoretically. You carry that knowledge, even when you try to ignore it. Every relationship is temporary. Every plan is uncertain. Every moment is fragile, and this cannot be undone. Awareness doesn't free you from the problem. It traps you inside it, with full visibility. Despite all this, everything continues. People wake up, work, plan, reproduce, repeat. Why? Because something softens the edges. Something prevents the full conclusion from taking hold. That something is narrative. Life is a gift. Everything happens for a reason. It's all worth it in the end. These aren't neutral observations. They are stabilizers. They don't explain reality. They manage your reaction to it. Cabrera suggests that society depends on these narratives to function. Because if the structure were seen clearly, without filters, certain behaviors would become harder to justify, especially reproduction. To create life is to introduce someone into unavoidable exposure to harm. Not intentionally, perhaps, but inevitably. Still, the cycle continues. Social pressure, expectation, tradition, they all reinforce continuation. And those who question it are often treated as if they're missing something. But maybe they're just seeing something others prefer not to examine fully. Meaning doesn't erase damage. Interpretation doesn't remove exposure. Optimism in this sense becomes less about truth and more about endurance. A way to keep going without confronting the full weight of what's happening. When distractions fail, what remains isn't necessarily despair. It's clarity. No promises, no compensation, no comforting resolution, just the structure, as it is. And that changes the question. It's no longer, how do I live better? It becomes, what does it mean to place someone into this? Cabrera's negative ethics doesn't demand destruction or rejection of life. It draws a line somewhere quieter, but more difficult. Do not impose this condition on someone else. Because once you see the structure, inevitable harm, gradual loss, amplified awareness, continuing as if it doesn't matter is no longer innocence. It's a decision. You can't undo your existence. That's already in motion. But there is one boundary still untouched. You can choose not to extend this condition further. No heroism in that, no applause, no grand narrative, just coherence. And maybe that's the most unsettling part. Not that life is unbearable, but that, when seen clearly enough, it no longer looks like a gift that was misunderstood. It looks like a problem that was carefully renamed. You didn't choose to be here, and yet every day you carry the weight of being here. You wake up, you continue, you endure small fractures no one sees. Not dramatic enough to stop everything, but never light enough to disappear. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It just keeps asking. And still, you're here, watching, thinking, questioning. That already sets you apart, because most people run from this kind of reflection. They cover it with noise, routine, distraction, but you stayed long enough to face it, and that matters more than it seems. If any of this resonates with you, then you're not just a viewer. You're part of something quieter, but deeper. A space where things are said without disguise. If you feel like supporting this, you can become a member of the channel. There are more than 100 exclusive videos there. Content that goes further, darker, more honest. You can also use super thanks if you want to contribute directly. But honestly, just being here, watching until the end, already helps more than you think. Sharing this with someone who might need it helps even more. This kind of content only exists because people like you choose to stay. And maybe that's the closest thing to meaning we get. Not escaping the weight, but recognizing each other inside it.